Hello and welcome to the Underhive. We are back with some more How to Command the Death Guard. In this series, we're going to take a look at every aspect of the Death Guard. So whether you're looking to get more out of your army or you're thinking of joining Nurgle's feculent festivities, then there's something here for you. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the 6th plague company, the Ferrymen. We'll take a look at their specific rules and how they relate to the other plague companies that we've already had a look at. So let's jump in and take a look what the Ferrymen have to offer. The stratagem available to the Ferrymen is On Droning Wings. Use this stratagem in the command phase, select one Ferryman's Fetid Virion model from your army, select one of that model's aura abilities, at the start of until the start of the next command phase, add 6 inch to the range of that model's selected aura ability to the maximum of 12. So of course, the Foul Blightspawn is almost certainly going to appear in more lists now. The average list has saved about 100 points. He cost 95, given the deadly pathogens have gone down by 5 points, and you pretty much always take the reroll hits with him. So ultimately, that's going to appear in more lists. You probably still want Revolting Stench Vats, but his default aura is good at 3 inch anyway. Either way around, doubling down on the Blightspawn is a fine reason to pick the Ferryman just for that stratagem. It's good to affect more than one attacking model with Fight Last, and even better with Fight Last and you don't count as charging for any rules you have. So that's one obvious standout. Same goes with the Tallyman. The Tallyman having his default, is it 6's Explode? I think it's 6's Explode. The command phase, company core unit within 6. It's not an aura is the point, that's a selected. So his aura comes from the relic. So you might want to take a Tallyman and the relic. While a friendly plague company core units within 6, each time a model makes a ranged attack, an unmodified hit roll of 6, scores 1 additional hit. So given that you could tool them up now with few plasmas, melters or so, blight launcher or so, maybe a plague spewer, plague belcher maybe if you fancy it. Ultimately you've got a lot of decent weapons there that would love an extra hit. You're not going to get that many because for pretty much all of them you're rolling less than 6 dice per weapon, so you're not guaranteed an extra hit by the averages, but ultimately getting an extra one here or there could kill an extra model or at least deal an extra relevant wound. Given that you're going to be having a lot more AP now, you're going to be picking perhaps more relevant targets rather than just killing troops with Marines. So that's nice in and of itself. The Terminators haven't got any better at shooting, but of course they still have combis. So you could have, Combi Melt, Combi Plasma, Combi Flamer, an extra hit on those. Particularly the first two is always nice. So Tallyman, another good pick to extend the aura on. And then, of course, the rest, they all have a reason. If you've put the Fetid Virion in your army, it's probably because you want to use that effect in some way as a force multiplier. So if you feel extending the range by 6 inches of any of them on any given turn will give you that extra advantage out of nowhere, then that could be a valid reason to pick the Ferryman. Warlord trait is the droning. I will say as well, if you're not already taking a relic on that specific Fetid Virion, you could take the Fulgaris' Helm, which would give them a 3 inch to their auras indefinitely. So something like the Surgeon with a 3 inch aura, I quite like popping that up to a 6 with the Fulgaris Helm, just extend that Feel No Pain and that healing aura a little bit, just to give you more general durability and to give you more options as to who you're going to heal out of the few units in range. So don't always need to go for the Ferryman for that sort of effect, but this is bigger than the Fulgaris' Helm. The Warlord trait available is the Droning. So the Droning Contagion, while an enemy is in contagion range, at the start of your opponent's movement, halve the enemy move characteristic until the end of the phase. So in terms of coming towards you, I don't think that's that big a debuff, because if they're within contagion range, let's say on average it's turn 3, they're within 6 inch. Even half in the movement for most units, that's still another 3 inch, and then a 3 inch charge or a 2 inch charge maybe. So I don't think you're denying them engaging with you in many cases, but you probably are denying them from escaping you. So even something that's fairly fast, like a 12-inch on a biker or something like that, that would be down to 6. So you're not necessarily getting outmaneuvered because you can catch up by 5 and then still look to charge them. Not that powerful, all told. I'm sure there are times and places where this feels really strong, like if you get a flash outbreak off and just stop your opponent moving towards the middle of the field early on. But either way around, because it's at the start of the movement phase, they can move into it and still move their full range. It doesn't like immediately half it as soon as they walk in. It's only if they started in contagion range. So you're still only likely to get that turn 2 onwards. It's quite hard to affect your opponent by contagions on their first turn. It can be done depending on their positioning, but you're unlikely to affect the majority of the army. So I don't see this as a way to sort of force them to stay in their own deployment. But if they don't move out much turn 1, you could then be striking in with Terminators, moving up bloat drones, and you may then just become an impassable wall of disgusting flesh. And at that point, that could be very strong. But as I say, that's relying on an opponent making a mistake, which you wouldn't necessarily want to play towards. And then the relic there is the Ferryman Scythe. Ferryman model only, of course. It's equipped with a Man Reaper to be able to swap this. So this I slept on previously. I said you could equip it on a Death Shroud. In terms of like the requirements, you could. It's just that there's no stratagem specifically to give this relic to a champion. The relics you can give to champions are limited to only a handful. So of the ones that fit on the Death Shroud, the only Reaper is the Plague Reaper, the Reaper of Glorious Entropy. So this one, of course, cannot go on a champion, but it can go on a Lord of Contagion or whatever the guy's name is that's outside the Codex. He's the leader of the Ferrymen. I'll come back to him at a later point, but I'm not familiar with him because I've never played him. But I'm guessing he's got a scythe. Either way, this is an upgraded Man Reaper. Same profile as normal, so on the cleave it is strength +3, AP -3, damage 2. On the scythe it is strength +1, AP -1, damage 1. On the cleave profile you're still getting the -1 to hit, so no benefit there. But on the scythe profile you get to make 3 attacks instead of 1, rather than the 2 attacks instead of 1. So I'm not sure on how many attacks that particular character has, but I assume it's either 5 or 6. So I'm guessing his default profile is ×2. So for the Lord of Contagion, that would put him up to 15 attacks on the cleave rather than 15 attacks on the scythe rather than 10. So 5 additional attacks, but not the most impressive profile all said and done. And it is a relic, so you can't give them +1 strength from a pathogen. So you're never really getting those nice breakpoints with it. I'm not sure if Fethius, is it Fethius, or is he the surgeon? Either way, I'm not sure if that other guy has like 5 strength base. If he has 5 strength base, then it is probably that bit better because it puts him to strength 8 and strength 6. But I don't think you need to. Given you're getting no relics for free now, I just don't see you taking the Ferryman Scythe. It's just, it's a good upgrade, but against a model that you're not really threatened by. If you're hit by a horde, you just take your 10 attacks and go, well, that's, it's good enough. I don't think the extra 5 really achieves that much more. When you absolutely slay a horde as a result of it, it'll feel powerful, but it's just not going to be the scenario that much. I don't know if the meta I'm experiencing is in any way relevant to anybody else, but I'm certainly coming up against a lot more elite armies, and the scythe profile just wouldn't be relevant there. So, armies are wanting to go for more AP, more big damage to kill Armor of Contempt factions, and it's also good against everything else except hordes. So you'll find there that you may be coming up against less hordes, and as a result, the Ferryman Scythe is just less relevant as a whole. Well, that's it for the Ferryman. Not an overall glowing resume. Certainly a decent stratagem and a decent warlord trait. The relic is certainly forgettable in my opinion, but you may see more value in it than that. Well, that's everything for this episode. Thank you so much to everybody that's got involved. Whether you want to leave a like, a comment, a sub, it really does mean a lot to me. So thank you so much for that. But otherwise, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time in the Underhive.